This is not right. Great start. Okay, so I think we're live.
Oh.
Welcome everyone to our very first little podcast for Earth Key English. My name is Gianluigi Nicolosi and I'm one of the co-founders here at Earth Key English. Okay, so before we get into this lovely podcast where I can introduce this lovely lady to you, I would like to remind you please to like this video, tag a friend in the comments and share as much as you can. I'm going to do that right now actually so that we can get some people into, oh here we go, live, so we can get some people into our group. So let's go right now actually. Why can I not share? Share to groups. Oh, there we go. Share. 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 And let's not share to that one. There we go. Alright, thank you Maddie for coming to watch us. Alright, so let's turn you off, you're making so much extra noise. Alright, guys and girls, welcome. If you're just joining us, welcome to our first little podcast. My name is Gianluigi and this is who we will be talking to today. Her name is Josini. Well, I call her Josini, but I'm sure she can introduce herself quickly.
Okay. Hi, I'm Joanne. Some people call me Josini, but in classrooms, I normally teach Joanne. I've been living in Vietnam for 3.5, maybe almost 4 years now, teaching English in a Montessori environment.
Cool. So, sure, 4 years in Vietnam, eh? How's that been for you?
Interesting.
Why so interesting?
There is a lot. It's very different to South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that you have to adapt to. I quite like that.
Okay.
It's kind of constantly changing.
Like, what's one thing you have to adapt to?
How people do business here. It's very different. Maybe I never experienced it at home because I didn't work that much at home, but living here and working here, contracts are very different, and just how they deal with business, I would do it a bit differently sometimes.
Okay, interesting thought. So if you ever want to come to Vietnam, remember things are done a little bit differently this side. Okay.
Yeah.
So where did you study? Did you get a teaching degree or?
I studied at home in something completely different.
Cool.
And then I realized 3 years into my degree that I really didn't want to be an accountant. So
hectic.
Yeah. I finished my degree and I came here, started doing just straight ESL teaching, and then found out about a Montessori job, and I basically I did a Montessori course here for It was 6 intense weeks, and then I had an internship that followed and a bunch of other academic things that go with that.
Yeah.
And then I started working in a Montessori school after doing that course.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been in Montessori for what, about 3 years now?
Yeah, 3 solid years, yeah.
Sure, Montessori. If you guys don't know, Montessori are actually a alternative curriculum type of school where they focus on developing each child and their skills, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's about individual lesson planning, so everything is catered to the unique child.
Okay. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Would you send your kids to a Montessori school?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great to know. So you said you were as an ESL teacher when you first got here.
Yeah.
What age group were you working with?
Actually, quite a few. I had kindergarten mainly, and I still work kindergarten because love it.
Yeah.
And then I also had 8-year-olds. Grade 1, grade 4, that kind of range.
Yeah.
Working in some schools, teaching not just English but also some maths, ESL as well.
Nice. Oh, because of your accountant.
Ding, ding.
Ding.
It was very interesting, very different setup. I still enjoy the teaching aspect. you have to obviously think of like a lot of games, and it's like very active, and there's a lot of movement and stuff in those kinds of ESL classrooms. But I kind of lost my train of thought there.
That's all right. That's all right. To be honest, when I started teaching ESL as well 7 years ago, I also started with kindergarten, and I was in China, and I kind of just got thrown into the deep end in the school where there was no foreign manager. I was the only foreign teacher and the only foreigner working in that school, and a lot of important tasks kind of fell on my shoulders, and I was just like, what the hell is going on? But the one thing that really kept me going was the kids, man, and the little 3-year-old students that I had, and I had them for 3 years, and they were so beautiful, and I loved kindergarten, and being able to get creative with all the games it's really fun, and it takes a lot of energy as well.
Yeah, it's a lot to think of. It's also like, for different groups of children, you have to adapt it, because I would always say with kindergarten, actually for any ESL teaching, always have backup games.
Standard procedure. Standard.
You gotta have something extra in your pocket. If someone looks like they're just drifting away, just change the topic and they're back in.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with the little kids, man.
Sure, 100%.
You can lose them like that, but you can also get them back like that.
In a second.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So what's been one of the more troubling things that you've experienced in class working with kindergarten kids?
Oh, I suppose here parents have a lot of influence on things. Maybe that's everywhere, but here it's a lot about what the parents, not even the honest, it's like truth. It's sometimes like they just want the parents to always think that everything's amazing and perfect in the classroom. So I find that kind of difficult to, sometimes if there is a child that really needs help at home as well, I would like to be able to discuss with the parents and be very open about it. And sometimes here I have to hide behind a few lies, or like, not lies, mistruths, I would say.
Mistruths.
To try and get across a message that if I just said it directly to them, this is what I see as a little bit of an issue, maybe you could try this at home to change it. It could be a little bit easier to actually get to like a better result for the child, essentially.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like as teachers, that's our primary goal, to be honest, is making sure that kid grows.
But they always do. I mean, it's nice to still watch, like if I am doing things in the classroom, it's really nice to watch them develop. It's nice to see the changes that are happening in the classroom, and it's interesting when they go home for a long period of time, how they would change at home again, and then you have to kind of, you go back a few steps and then they come back to the classroom, but they adapt really quickly. And as soon as they're in that environment that they know this is the rule, this is the thing that I have to do when I'm here, it's a good little mind change, and then they just slot right back in.
So I was going to actually ask then, how was the change in the kids' behavior before coronavirus and after the coronavirus lockdown and schools cancelled?
A lot of them were really excited to come back to school, so that was like really exciting to just get out the house. I think that was great. I did have a few children that were like, I don't want to be here, and I'd be like, why? And they're like, I don't know. I don't know why they were like, nah.
Just
but it's
being difficult for the sake of being difficult.
Exactly. But then when they actually started just interacting within the classroom and they just enjoyed their day. Like they all had a great time. I think most of them really happy. But I have a mixed age group of children. I've had the same children in my classroom for 3 years. So I know them really well, and like they're my humans, and it's our little community. It's like the little yellow class, like that's our class, and like it's when we all see each other, it's like having a little family, and we're all happy to see each other.
These kids are what, about 6 years old now, and you had them when they were 3? Or?
They start. It's supposed to be 3 to 6. They start a bit early here.
Okay.
So let's say 2 to 2.5, and they range to about 5, 6 years old. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So it's for me, as with my psychology background, it's amazing, because in that child's mind, you have been there for half or more than half of their life. As a part of it, and to be a part of such a beautiful dynamic like that, it's really self-rewarding in its own sense.
Oh, hugely! It's very rewarding. It's so like, I really like think back. I even said this to you earlier. I looked at a picture of my class from 2 years ago, and it's crazy to see how much they've changed. Like, I looked at each child. I mean, physically, yes, they have changed, but there's so much more that has changed, and I've just watched them develop and grow into like this person that they are now.
Awesome.
And I thought about this the other day. It's the one thing that makes me sad as a teacher. Like, your children leave the classroom at some point.
They do.
And then they go off, and I just want to know, like, I mean, I think I'll remember these children for a very, very long time. I hope I made enough of an impact in their lives that they would also, like, remember me.
Yes.
They're my homies.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. And I think that's one thing that being a teacher is intrinsically rewarding, is that you do actually remember all the lives that you end up touching, and all the lives that you can help develop and grow. And I don't know, I personally, when I teach, I don't like telling them what to do. I like trying to make them discover it themselves.
Yeah, that's a little bit of the Montessori philosophy there.
Yeah, maybe I should come work at Montessori.
You'd love it.
I'm quite enjoying my high school kids for now at the moment. It's been really interesting after teaching kindergarten and primary school for so long. Now that I've got high school kids, it's been really nice because I can teach them more than just English. I can divert the class quickly to teach them things about life and how to live and things that are morally right and wrong.
Yeah, I try to do that. So
yeah, you can though.
I actually still try to do that. Maybe it's not getting through to them completely, but like we have very random conversations. Like, I mean, there's mushrooms growing in my classroom somehow, and now we like when I left circle time yesterday, had a little look at them with 2 other children, had a full discussion, told them about mushrooms, what they are, how they grow.
Cool.
Had a whole discussion. Can't do that with all of them.
No,
because they're also learning English. But the ones that I've known for a long time, their English is relatively good, and I can have conversations that are like, how can you understand what I'm saying to you? But they just like,
I got it.
And the next day they know exactly what I said to them, and they will always have more conversations, have more questions. That's also great about really young children. They ask a lot of questions, which can be very irritating, but it's also really cool because sometimes you wouldn't even have thought of the question, and then I have to go and be like, maybe I need to do a little research, I'll come back to you.
Yeah, and that's definitely something I've also learned as a teacher as well, is that if you don't know the answer, that's okay. But tell them, it's my job to find out for you, I will find out, and we'll make a plan. Because also, like, you also start learning yourself as well, and one of the nice things about teaching is the more you teach, the more you want to be taught yourself.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so it's nice meeting new people and learning so much. So again, thank you very much for joining us.
No worries.
If you guys are just joining us now, this is Joanne. She's been a teacher in Vietnam for the last 3.5, 4 years.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm Gianluigi Nicolosi. I'm one of the founders of EarthKey. Okay. So just to top off this little podcast quickly, our first little one, what are some of your favorite memories from teaching? Do you have any like specific instances or a specific student?
Oh my gosh, I have phases of who's my favorite student. It depends how irritating they can be on a day, but I do love a lot of them. I don't even know now. There's so many like moments. I've had them say things to me that I'm just like, like really, what did you just say to me? And then I have to kind of take a step back and I'm like, okay, I don't know, like there's things that come out of their mouths I don't expect that are interesting. I don't know, maybe this is difficult. I don't know, I have a lot of like special moments with my children, almost like every day. Like I had one child that wouldn't leave my side today, and like she's been cute, one of my favorites for a very long time. And like I don't know, it's nice to have them. Like she climbs me like a little, like I literally, her name's Mon, and I call her Monkey Mon.
Oh,
and she's my monkey in the classroom, but legitimately I'll stand up and she climbs me like a monkey. Like I don't have to move, and she just like becomes one with me. And then I can just do things around the classroom with a little human attached to me, which is weird, but yeah, it's fun for her, and I don't really mind. I enjoy spending that time with her.
Yeah, I had a little boy named Jerry when I was working in China, and he was the same as well. He just used to love climbing on things and climbing on me, and half the class he'd be sitting like on my shoulder or on my back or something while I'd be continuing teaching. And I'd let him do it though because his English was on point. He would
see,
learn so fast. And just to help him get rid of that energy, I used to let him climb because he was still listening the whole time, and he was a listening learner more than a movement learner.
Well, that's okay then.
Yeah, exactly. So
Adapting.
diverting the energy so he can listen at the same time.
Yeah, good. As long as he can do two things at once, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do not have that many children who can do that.
Yeah.
Maybe because I also can't do that very well. They follow a lot what I do.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, I am, I would say, a very hard worker. I really like going to work. I enjoy my time there, and it's been really cool watching my children become like that as well. They really find joy in work, like learning and working, and that's kind of something that I want to instill in them. Even if I teach them nothing, as long as I can teach them like the joy of learning, because that like the next 12 years of their lives, they'll just actually enjoy being at school because it's something they're gonna have to do anyway. So
yeah,
it'll be nice to just enjoy it.
Yeah. And I think, I think if there's any tip that I can try and leave is try and instill that sense of learning that they want to keep for their life.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they leave school, it's another kind of school that you enter, and you're back in grade 1. You got to start all over again learning, guys.
Oh yeah.
So if you're watching, always keep learning. The learning never stops. The most powerful muscle in your body is this. So go to the gym. All right. Josini, thank you very, very much for joining our podcast. Is there anything you would like to say to our watchers or listeners as well?
Yeah, I don't know. Thank you for joining.
All right. Josini, thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, if you joined this video and enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up on Facebook, tag a friend in the comments, and share as much as you can so people can know what it's like to be an ESL teacher in Vietnam at a Montessori school like Josini. Right. Guys and girls, thank you very much. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next week for our second podcast. Thank you and goodbye.